What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone's doing fantastic today. I wanted to put together this brief video just walking you through my step-by-step process with JDStrategic. Step one will be a very preliminary introduction call. I just want to get to know you. You can ask whatever questions you want about me, and I'm sure your initial inquiry of the franchising can be very overwhelming, a lot of information thrown at you. It's hard to figure out what's real, what's not real, so I like to do just a very preliminary introduction call so that I'm happy to answer any questions, concerns about franchising, business ownership you might have. And really the goal of that introduction call is, like I said, I just want to address any questions, concerns that you may have. And then I just want to establish, are you potentially interested in franchising and business ownership? And really the key is on this introductory call, no decisions need to be made by any means. You don't need to make a decision that day or even in a month by any means. My process tends to be a 1 to 2 month process. It will be a step-by-step process to help you get the necessary and accurate information to see, does franchising, does business ownership make sense for you and your loved ones? Once we establish there is some interest in business ownership, either that day or we can schedule a later consultation call. This will be anywhere between a 30-45 minute call where my goal is to get to know you. With JDStrategic, I have access to the top franchise opportunities. With that being said, my role is not to sell you any of these specific opportunities, but to get to know you, your strengths, your weaknesses, what are your goals in business ownership, and then I can help present some of the top opportunities that best align with what you're looking for, if that makes sense. We'll hop on a consultation, I'll get to know you, then I can do some research over the next couple of days tailored on your behalf and what you're looking for. And then within a couple of days, we'll hop on another call where I'm going to present my research to you, somewhere between the top 4, maybe 6 opportunities that I feel best align with what I heard from you. And then we'll figure out what those top opportunities are to really begin the discovery process. And this is when the fun part begins for you with the discovery process. And really the key in the discovery process, and really once I introduce you to a franchise, the key is that it's going to be a two-way interview process. These franchises get hundreds of leads every week, with them being the top opportunities. So they're going to be interviewing you just as much as you're interviewing them. So my role is to help prepare you for all these conversations, to help manage expectations, and help ensure you're asking the right questions along each stage of the process. I'm sure your initial inquiry of the franchising, you probably already have 100 different questions. I'm going to help prepare you for 100 other questions on top of that so that we get all your questions answered. And at the end of the day, you can see, does franchising make sense for you? So I'm going to do an introduction call, a consultation call, then I'm going to present my research where I can start to introduce you to these franchise opportunities. Now I'm going to help present these opportunities to you so that you can start the discovery process. As mentioned, I'm going to help prepare you for these conversations. Step one with the franchise opportunity, very preliminary conversation. They'll get to know you, they'll get to know them. As I mentioned, they get hundreds of leads, so they're going to be evaluating you through this process, and I'm going to help prepare you for this conversation. No pressure is needed. It's not like corporate America where you're walking on eggshells. It really is. They just want to make sure that you're motivated and want to grow and scale a business. Basically, I'm going to introduce you to a franchise. You're going to hop on a call, get some very basic information. Then I'll joke, you'll kind of get the keys to Disney World. You'll learn everything about the business, the competitive advantage, really what makes that business tick. And you can see, does that make sense for you? Is that something you're comfortable with in terms of the overall business model? At this point, you're going to have a general understanding of the business, the model, the franchise developer, and really see some of the things that potentially make sense for you. And now you're going to hop onto an important part of the process called the unit economics call. This is probably one of the things that's top of mind as you're making this big investment. The financials, ROI, cash flow, how long is it going to take? This is why we have the unit economics call. This is where you're going to actually get what's called an FDD document, a franchise disclosure document. This is going to actually give you the financials, cost of goods, earnings, resales, all these tougher questions. You're going to get to form a complete picture of the financials and really see what those potential unit economics could look like, and see, do the financials, does that make sense for you and your loved ones? And that's going to be really important, looking at the financials, evaluating the financials, but the financials only tell part of the story. Really what's going to be the most important part of the process, in my opinion, is called the validation stage. This is where you're going to get the phone numbers, the emails of all the franchise owners in the system, and you're going to get the opportunity to talk to them, really call them, speak to them. What does a day in the life look like? ROI, cash flow, employees, all these tougher questions. You can actually talk to someone that has made that same investment and has lived that day in the life, and really ask, and this is really my favorite question throughout the process, talking to other franchise owners and asking, would you make the same investment again? In my opinion, this answers 2 questions. 1, are they happy? And 2, are they making money? Because these are 2 top concerns as you're making a potential investment into franchising. Not only are you making money, but are you happy? would you make that same investment again if you had to? So this is really key, the validation part of the process, where now you get the opportunity to talk to someone that is not financially incentivized. They're not trying to sell you anything. This is just someone that has made that same investment and can really ask those tougher questions and really see, does that make sense for you and your loved ones? At this point, you're going to have a very clear picture of what that franchise and that business opportunity could look like for you. And the final part of the process is called the discovery day. This is where you're actually going to go in person, meet with the franchise, meet with the brand, the corporate team, the leadership. They're going to walk you through that day in the life and really see, does that day in the life make sense for you? At this point, you're going to have a very good understanding of what that potential franchise and business opportunity could look like for your future. And that's why I say you do not need to make any decisions today or even in 30 days. This is really going to be a step-by-step process that tends to take 1 to 2 months to simply educate you on franchising and business ownership. And as I continually say, it's not for everyone, but I know as I've spoken to a lot of people, over 70% of people have considered business ownership. So my goal is to just educate you so that you can see if it makes sense for you and your loved ones. And really in business ownership, you don't need every skill in the book. It's an opportunity in franchising to leverage your current skill set and take control of your future through business ownership. So if you or someone you know is potentially interested in franchising, business ownership, I'd love to hop on a call, answer any questions, concerns, and really just see if franchising, if business ownership is a good fit for you.